Alright guys, CWL here back again today, and it is that time of year again. The Call of Duty World Championship is only a couple of weeks away. It was pretty much this time last year that I actually started making videos on this channel. They didn't really blow up until the start of September, but it's pretty much been like 11 months of content out of this channel. So yeah, thank you guys for all your continued support. It just really came to mind that it was pretty much champs last year when I was really trying to start up this channel. So the road we've been on is fantastic, and hopefully it can continue long into the future. So today I want to talk about some predictions for the first 4 groups in the Call of Duty World League Championship, or I don't exactly know how it's meant to be called. I always just call it COD Champs. Wanted to split this into 2 different videos because there's a lot of stuff to talk about with these teams. And yeah, let's hop right into it. So if you guys enjoy, subscribe if you are new. As always, I would greatly appreciate it. Leave all your thoughts down in the comment section below. And yeah, I'd be interested to hear which of these 4 top pools, Pool A, B, C and D, which we're going to go through today, you think is the pool of death of these. I think there are definitely some teams that could be upset here in the pool play situation, and that's what we're going to get into today. So Call of Duty World Championships is taking place August 14th to the 18th. Now here it says 16th to the 18th, but we'll get into exactly why that difference is made in just a second. So yes, Modern Warfare will be playable at COD Champs. So if you guys are attending, I think it's at the Powley Pavilion or the Pawley Pavilion, not sure what it's called, in Los Angeles, which means it's not going to be great for time zones, let's put it that way, because it's going to be 8 hours behind me in the UK. East Coast events are much better. Basically, COD Champs is probably going to be finishing at like 3 AM every day, and then I'll have to get up at like 6:15 to make a video before I go to work. So I probably won't be watching the last few hours of matches because it's just not going to happen. But you know, that is just how it is. So yes, it is in Los Angeles, and Modern Warfare will be playable there. This is a quick picture of the stadium. So it's a basketball stadium, pretty damn big one. Not sure exactly how they're going to do it, but it could be a pretty epic event. So if you guys are attending, Modern Warfare's there. I'm sure tickets are still available. So these are all the pools. The picture I showed you earlier was a little bit of an outdated one. Some of the teams have been bought out or have been contracted now to another organisation, especially some of the amateur ones. Some switcheroos have been made. So this is courtesy of Call of Duty Gamepedia. I'll leave a link down below if you want to check out everything related to this and look at many things in much more detail. So here we go, some further details on the Call of Duty World Championships, 32 teams. The group stage is August 14th to the 15th, an 8-round robin format, groups of 4 teams in a group, best of 5 series. It's pretty much the traditional format that we've seen for a very long time. I talked last year after the World Championship was over how I think there's problems with the format. I don't really like the idea that it's just a single round robin, every team in the pool plays each other once, you get pretty horrible tie breaks, and you know, if you don't place in the top 2 of your pool, you are out of the tournament. Nothing you can do about it. Happened to OpTic Gaming last year. They went 2-1, got 3-0'd by Evil Geniuses. That was the only series they lost of the entire tournament, was to the eventual champions. But because that forced them into 3rd place because of the tiebreakers, that meant that they didn't even make it to the bracket play, and they placed top 24. So I don't really like it, but at the same time, you know, that's how it's been for several years now. What am I on about? And then the knockout stage will be August 16th to the 18th. So the group stage will take place probably at the MRG Studios or something like that, wherever it's going to be, somewhere or other. And then the knockout stage will be the actual event that you can attend. So yeah, game modes and types, all that good stuff. $2 million on the line right here. So this is how it's going to be split. $800,000 to the winner, $260,000 to the runner-up. Basically the same prize pool split that we had back in Black Ops 3 World Championships. This time, of course, there's more players on the team. Let's get into the pools. Okay, so here we go. Group A. I've made these all into a spreadsheet because there wasn't really an easy way online to show all the teams in the pools and all the players on the teams and where they placed in the most recent CWL Miami event. So I'll leave a link to this document I put together up on, well, in the description box below, on Google Docs or wherever, if you guys want to check it out and have a look through and maybe just add to it and do whatever you like with it, basically. So this is the first pool. We've got E United, which of course is Simpclaster, Arstes, Pristini and Abizi. The way this works, of course, is you've got the winners from CWL Miami, the pro section. First place was E United. The winners from the open section in the boys, Shawnee, Quicker, Bance, Nasty and Chain. And then we have the top 16 finishes in the Pro League, and also also in the open bracket. So pretty much this puts E United and the boys, both winners of the open and the pro sections, in the best possible position, because the boys have the best possible chance, in theory, of upsetting the second place team here that's technically a pro team, but you know, they're a top 16 squad. Elevate have not been particularly good. Interestingly, being coached by Daryl, who is someone who's had some contact with a lot of these boys players in the past. There's definitely some storylines going on here. Then we have RBL Esports, considered probably, you know, not one of the best teams that came into the open bracket for sure, but Human Jesus Clink, you know, these are names you guys might remember. So in terms of predictions for this pool, it's pretty simple that E United should be the best. Of course, they won CWL Miami. It should be very, very comfortable for them this pool. I really can't see a world in which they lose a single series, at least if they continue their current form, which it seems like they should with the SMG meta we now have in place. So the second place, of course, is what it's all fighting for. If you don't make second place, then of course you will be going out of the tournament in a top 24 or even top 32 position. So I think the boys have a great chance of upsetting Elevate. I think there's a good chance that it goes either way. But right now, you know, Shawnee Quicker, Bants, players that have been in the Pro League this year. Quicker, of course, on Team Swing at the start of the year, has, you know, really got a reputation for building up younger talents. Of course, he was teaming with Dylan at the start of the year. And it's just, that's what he's done his entire career. Many players that are right now in the Pro League, the likes of Nolson, Zed, as we just mentioned, Dylan, have played with Quicker in the past and have really grown massively as a player as a result. Of course, Shawnee and Bants have been around a while, but this guy Nasty, B Nasty, and Immigrant Chain, who of course was on the top 12 placing Vitality roster last year, that had Tommy on it. So I think this is a very scary squad. They put a great performance together in the open bracket. In my opinion, I think they will probably get the better of Elevate, but I really do think it comes down to this series for what happens. I don't really think these guys have much of a chance, RBL Esports, but you never know. It's a single series. It can easily go to a game 5, and then we know a lot of these guys are, you know, known as Search and Destroy stars and the like. So it's always possible, but I think I'm going to go with E United and the boys out of Group A, which does make sense, I think. But you guys may contest that for sure. So Group B, this is the teams here. So once again, Gen.G came second, therefore they get the best possible chance, in theory, or the second best possible chance, to get out the pool comfortably. I don't think they'll have too many issues here. Once again, I think this will come down to second versus third, but Fuego Gaming may have something to say about it. This is quite a spicy pool because, yes, Enigma 6 have not been great, of course. They didn't make the playoffs, so, you know, top 14 here is their standing in the Pro League overall, depending on how well they did. And, you know, a lot of this season they've been relatively good. They've made some interesting changes with Breezy and Mayhem coming into the team, GodRx, Kismet and General. It's a solid squad. I think on paper they may be the second best team in this pool. I think Team War could give them a great run for their money though. But what's very interesting about this pool for me is this Team War versus Fuego Gaming situation, because as we've said, these pools can be not necessarily random, but because it's single round robin, teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect to do something can win a game 5, and all of a sudden they're, you know, just on the verge of actually qualifying for the top 16 and making it to the bracket. And, you know, there's some names we've heard of here. Hawkey and Madcat for sure. Of course, if you guys are familiar with the BBC scene, well, not that, with the EU amateur scene, BB, Connor, Chaxter and Payne, you may have heard these names as well. But Hawkey and Madcat, of course, have been around a while. The exciting thing really for this, I think, is Josh, Dave and Vortex, joined by Hawkey, was the team back in the Infinite Warfare days that came third at Anaheim and really had a great run. That was under Epsilon Esports at the time. And Madcat, of course, has, you know, teamed with Josh in the past, and they've been around for a long time. They won an event together back in the Modern Warfare 3 days, I think, the first time a European team had ever won an event with an American team also present before. They repeated the trick, or at least Madcat repeated the trick, later in the Infinite War days Stage 1 playoff. So definitely some storylines here, some fun teams to have a look at. Obviously, I'm kind of biased. I'm kind of hoping that Team War can take down Enigma 6 and qualify. But as I've said that for the first pool, I'm just going to say, you know, Enigma 6 will get the better of them, and it will be Gen.G Enigma 6 in that order. But I think there's a good chance here. Now, another pool where there's a good chance of the third place team making an upset is Group C. We've got FaZe Clan, Scrap, Celium, Zero, Zuma, and Asim. These guys should be comfortably the best team in this pool. No problems at all with that. They came third, of course. They're going to be up against Unit, though, and I think Unit will get second place in this pool. I honestly think they're a pretty damn good team. They put a good showing together against Luminosity, and unfortunately, of course, they lost to a Luminosity that were just unbelievably on fire. Formal had a ridiculous performance in that control map, but they are going to be playing against Mauser Gaming here in this pool, and these are names that we have heard of. A similar kind of story to the Pool A, really, which has the boys with Bance and Shawnee, names that have been in the Pro League this year. We've got Spacely here, and CWL, of course, Parzelion as well. So names that have been on that Midnight team at the start of the year, and Spacely has been in and out of this Gen.G squad. So definitely a scary team. Now, Animosity is going to be the German guys. I think this team is honestly pretty stacked with some good talent. I can't see these guys putting up too much of a fight against the other teams. I think that Units will solidify second place, but it's definitely not set in stone by any means. FaZe should be the most solid team in the pools. It should once again come down to Units versus Mauser. And, well, I don't know. I haven't seen too much out of Mauser Gaming. They did come third place in the open bracket, but of course losing to, well, whoever they lost to, but outplaced by Team War and the boys, kind of implies to me that they're not going to be as good as Units, who took some of these players that have been around that amateur European scene and have gone up to play on the pro level now. And Rated, I know obviously Rated likes to be very confident on Twitter and all the like, but he has been talking about how they've been playing very, very well online, and he thinks they're a much better team than they've shown so far. Interestingly, of course, their Units actually did take down FaZe Clan in the league when they played them, I think, in the Pro League, so that's something to keep an eye on as well. I doubt they will repeat the trick, but you just never know. Units did take down FaZe in the Pro League, and if that's the case and they can be competitive with this FaZe Clan team, then almost certainly Units should at least qualify in the second position at the very least. Maybe they can even get an upset. Again, FaZe Clan seem to not turn up too much in pools, but really put a shift together when it comes to bracket. So the final pool to go through today is going to be Group D, Reciprocity, Envy, Sage, and Legend status. So, this is interesting. Reciprocity are the fourth best team in the game right now. You could say they came fourth at Miami. I don't think that these guys will have any problem in this pool, especially if Dylan, Dylan's Dylan, Alex is Alex, Zed is Zed. Just fantastic, especially in terms of the SMGs. It should be deadly. They can play, if you look at this team Envy right now, they're going to be thinking, okay, if we beat Envy, we're going to qualify, no problem at all. Look how slow that Envy team is on paper. You've got Gunless, who isn't exactly the quickest player in the world, Aches, who is far from it, Silly, who is not a particularly quick player, Decimate is, and Assault is a very, very slow assault rifle. So pretty much, if you're Reciprocity, you just have to, say in the hard points, for example, Envy, what do they veto out? They can get rid of frequency, but then they're leaving Seaside in. Either way, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, if you're Envy right now in this matchup. So I don't think Reciprocity will have a problem with it. Of course, the question is whether Envy can actually solidify that second spot. Aches, Silly, Assault won the World Championship last year, so I think they will put something together against these other teams. Of course, Legend status has names that really we're not too familiar with, or at least I'm not. If you guys are aware of any good storylines that they've had, then please let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that Envy will put something together. Gravity, of course, was on that FaZe Clan Black team. I think that won CWL Fort Worth, the open bracket earlier in the year, and these other names are names that we're definitely aware of. So I think Sage has a decent chance of getting the better of Envy, but I really can't see it happening. I feel like when it comes down to the wire, even if it goes to a game 5 or something, and Envy's Search and Destroy has been tragic, the likes of Aches, the likes of Gunless, these guys have done it all before. I think they will manage to solidify that second spot, but that's just my thinking. If you guys have anything different, leave it down in the comment section below. I'd be greatly interested to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new as always, and I will see you next time.